Here's a question we don't like to ask out loud. Why don't we care about poor people anymore? Or I should say, why don't we care about the less fortunate? Seriously. We post about injustice, about mental health, about equality, but when it comes to poverty, we get quiet. We roll our eyes at people using public assistance. We assume everyone struggling is lazy. We say things like, get a job to people who can't even afford the gas to get there. Somehow, compassion has become conditional. And we forget that poverty isn't just about money, it's about exhaustion, isolation, and shame. And the worst part is the bitterness towards the less fortunate is taught. Think about it. From a young age, we're taught to look down on people who have less. We hear things like, don't give money to homeless people, they'll waste it. People on welfare are taking advantage of the system. Or that old classic, if they really wanted to change, they would. That's not wisdom, that's programming. It's this illusion that poverty is always due to a personal failure, not the result of broken systems or generational traps. It's easier to believe that the less fortunate deserve it than to admit the system was never fair to begin with. Because if we admit it, we'd have to care, we'd have to act. And that can be very uncomfortable for some people. We've dehumanized struggle. When someone shares that they're broke, people say, well, you should have saved better. When someone can't afford rent, we say, you made bad choices. We act like we're immune to falling or failing. Like one illness, one job loss, one divorce couldn't put us all there too. We don't want to see poverty because it reminds us of how fragile life really is. And it's a lot easier to scroll past all the suffering than to sit with it, to humanize it. But empathy isn't convenient. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, and it costs something. Here's the truth that no one wants to say: poverty can be generational. If you grow up in survival mode, you make survival decisions. If you've never been taught how to build wealth, you're not lazy, you're uninformed. If your neighborhood has no good schools, no access to healthy food, no transportation, you're not unmotivated, you're trapped. And yet, we blame the victims instead of the system. We shame single mothers instead of questioning why childcare costs more than rent. We criticize people using food stamps or EBT instead of asking why food inflation is outpacing wages, because some people who receive food assistance have jobs. If we spent half the energy we use judging on fixing what's broken, we'd see generational poverty slow down, maybe even stop. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 17 says, "Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done." That is powerful. That means compassion isn't charity, it's obedience. Yahusha didn't separate people into deserving and undeserving. He fed everyone. He healed everyone. He sat with people society avoided. If we call ourselves moral or spiritual, but we look down on those in need, we've missed the message completely. When someone is in a position where they're referred to as less fortunate, it changes how people see you. You stop getting invited places. You start making excuses for why you can't hang out. You feel invisible, or worse, judged. Poverty isolates people, and the internet has made it worse. We see get rich quick videos, hustle culture, and luxury vlogs, and start thinking poverty is shameful instead of systemic. But being less fortunate isn't a sin. Looking down on people who are is. So why don't we care about the less fortunate anymore? Because we've been trained not to. We've been told compassion makes us weak, that helping others is enabling, that empathy doesn't belong in economics. But that's a lie. Empathy is the glue of humanity, and when we lose it, society collapses, one cold heart at a time. You don't have to save the world, but you can choose to care. You can choose to stop judging, start understanding, and maybe help someone break a cycle instead of repeat it. I'm Oso, and these are my opinions of a social outcast. If compassion makes us soft, then I'm a teddy bear. Until next time.